Like, yes, I would switch to a Komodo if price was not an issue.
Yeah.
But what Zcam has done with this camera is not to be understated. It is amazing. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another YouTube video. I'm here with Cam today and we're going to be doing a practical real world comparison of the Zcam versus the RED Komodo specifically. So the first obvious difference is price. This is about 2,600
like
approximately.
25, yeah.
And then that is what? 6,000. And then what would you say the difference is like built out?
Whatever money you spend into building a rig out for that, it's gonna be pretty much the same thing for this. There are extra accessories though. That's my one gripe with Zcam is there's not a whole lot of like Zcam built accessories for it. RED already has a bunch of things in the works, and other brands actually have a bunch of other things in the works where Zcam's kind of just being left out to dry. Is that how they say it?
Yeah, left out. Yeah, that sounds right.
Something like that.
That's all good. But yeah, I mean, that is another thing to take into account. Zcam is a much smaller company, so you're going to get less support as far as third-party like peripherals. But that's another benefit for the Zcam, though. It's a small company. I know that I can DM like the CEO and ask a question.
Yeah,
or go
and
on
he'll
their
answer
Facebook page.
like pretty quick too.
He'll answer. He seems very invested in that.
Yeah.
Not to say that the RED doesn't have good customer support. They do, but they're a bigger company, so they're dealing with a lot more people.
Yeah. I mean, before I even bought this, like a week after I bought it, I got like a one-on-one training that I guess is available to anybody that buys a RED. I didn't tell you about that.
Oh, really? Any RED owner?
Yeah.
I thought you were special.
No, I think it's for any RED owner.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and
That's
so it's
super
like a video chat, and he was like, I can either put you through the whole spiel or you could just start off with questions. So Zcam doesn't really have anything like that.
No. And I think that's why I wanted to get price out of the way really quick, is because that's not the biggest difference in my opinion. Like stats and price, of course that's what you're going to be reading, that's what you're going to be able to look up online. But like these other things you don't think about, that's the type of stuff we learn by doing a few shoots, like real world shoots out in the field and figuring that stuff out.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like renting too. Everyone's like, why don't you rent? You save your money. I'm not gonna spend thousands of dollars renting for like a month to try to put together gigs for it and everything. It's easier if I just buy it, and when I sell it, you don't really lose too much money when you sell things, if you sell it quick like that.
Going back to comparison, obviously the RED's gonna have way more dynamic range just with being able to shoot RAW. The Zcam has a RAW function, but
it's not realistic at all. Everyone likes to argue like Zcam has RAW too. If you shoot in it, you have to go then and open it in its own program. It's gonna take for you to transcode it. That's not a realistic workflow if you're like an actually working person. I think Final Cut or Premiere has availability for it too, but
yeah, that's a big difference too though. Like the RAW on the Zcam, not really usable. The RAW on the RED is probably the most usable RAW.
Yeah, it's pretty much like if you guys have tried Blackmagic RAW, it's the same shit except this has even more quality punched into it, so you can stretch it even more.
There's a reason RED cameras are famous, and that color profile, that look that it gets is really nice.
Legit, like the color grades I've been doing on this take like 3 nodes. I just had a color grade a previous project we did on this, and it's like 12 to 20 nodes per clip.
Damn.
But it's just because of the RAW. I'm sure if the Z RAW was capable to open in DaVinci, you could probably stretch it still.
If there was a really good workflow for the Z RAW, which I hope there will be eventually, I mean, it would probably, it's not going to match, but it'll probably come really close.
Yeah.
But the practical profile to use on the Zcam is either ProRes, if you have a Mac, or H.265, which for my uses coming from the mirrorless camera side and all that stuff is amazing. It still looks that one step above. Yeah, I mean, both of the cameras have their own uses. So like talking real world examples, we've been working on a longer form project, which includes like time lapses and interviews and stuff like that. And that's not stuff you really want to shoot on the RED.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but you're gonna have to pay for a lot of memory cards, which I'm too cheap. I have 2 500 gigabyte memory cards, and I run LQ on here. And it's still, we shot one interview on this, well, on 3 cameras.
Yeah.
And I tapped out one memory card and I regretted it for the rest of the day. So, so that's what we're finding is on those gigs, I'm like, Jericho, get the Zcam.
I mean, you were even talking about getting another Zcam for that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I might do that or figure out something with the R5 or maybe get an R6 because I actually like the colors more on the R5 than on the Zcam still, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, those Canon colors still do look really good.
Yeah.
But again, with the Zcam, you're spending 1/3 the amount of money.
Yeah.
And you're getting an extremely good codec that you can push and pull almost as much as you need. It takes more work, but if you're on any type of budget, Zcam.
Yeah, but anytime there's like an A shot or like a shot where I'm like, this needs to be amazing, the RED.
Yeah.
One day I'll stop being cheap and I'll invest into a RAID hard drive and more memory cards, and I'll gladly use this for interview setups and everything. Other than that, like time lapse, interviews, any long form kind of shooting, the Zcam, like that's like, as Jericho just said, like I'm still contemplating getting a second one maybe just
it's really convenient.
Yeah.
It definitely strikes that balance between convenience and quality that's like.
So RED, if you want to put like E2s6 on this, you know, I know that's below you, but
yeah, like, well, even if you do go into a lower codec, you have to stop and take a few minutes to black balance with that camera as well, right?
you're supposed to.
You don't have to.
I don't. And it looks fine, so.
Yeah, but then you're taking that time later to denoise it.
You have to denoise it anyways, though. That's all wrong. So, you can't really win.
The Komodo is like a crazy new camera for RED. They've never done anything this accessible. I think if you were to do this comparison with any other RED camera, you'd be talking about a significant difference in workflow and a significant difference in like gearing out the camera.
Yeah.
So like, I think this is the first time that RED has stepped to a point where it's equivalent to like a run and gun type of camera.
Yeah. But that's a lot of people who are comparing these two are lower budget filmmakers, which I would say we kind of are.
Yeah, totally.
And so at that rate, I think if someone has to question if investing into this Komodo is worth it for them, it's probably not. But if you're on a level where you're like, I need the RED raw quality, I need the RED look, you'll know if you need it or not.
Definitely. Form factor of both cameras is literally the same. I think the only thing that's different is the RED has a usable screen on top.
Yeah.
Where the Zcam has like a tiny little screen where you can go through the menu.
The Zcam got really annoying for me because, as like what we said before with support, if you don't have a monitor that can control your settings, you have to go through all those little buttons on there. When you're shooting like the kind of shit we've been shooting where it's like rodeo, run and gun, cowboy kind of stuff, that will slow you down a little bit compared to the REDs where it's all touchscreen and they already have multiple monitors that have camera control on it. So it kind of sucks because Zcam, so far, some companies are taking them serious, but other ones aren't really giving them the support that they deserve. But I mean, that was just the annoying thing. If Zcam came out with a new model and they just made the workflow way easier and you didn't need an external monitor to run it, that would like kind of step it up a little bit. But that was the main reason I changed over. One, I want the look of RED because it does have a look. Anyone who wants to complain that, go buy the camera yourself and try it. But just the overall support, like I've had zero issues with getting answers for this, or finding the right accessory, or finding options on how I can run a trigger to this or that. There's just way more options for it already, which is weird because this hasn't been out for a year and this has been out for a couple of years.
Yeah, this was hard to get like a month or two ago. Like,
yeah.
You couldn't even find them. Yeah, I want to talk about that, what he said with the like camera control and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not necessarily as easy as most cinema cameras.
You get used to it.
But I was just about to say, today I went through and did all my custom buttons again. This is probably my 4th time redoing my custom buttons. And I've found what I think is like, for me, perfect, and now I can just adjust with a couple pushes of buttons what I normally adjust. So I have found something that works really well.
It's just like Sony cameras. Everyone complains about Sony menus. They are bad, but if you're anyone that's worth anything, if you use a camera long enough, like a professional should, you're gonna get used to them. You could create custom menus on the Sony. It's not that big of a deal. It does suck, but it's not that big of a deal. But going into Canon, like everything's way easier to find. It's basically the same kind of thing on here. You can get used to it. I saw Jericho on the gig, and he's like typing it in like it's a vintage calculator, but he's not like lingering on it or taking forever to do it. Compared to my Red, where I just click and drag and it's done.
All right, I'm testing out the touchscreen on this.
Change the aperture. How much more easier is that?
I mean, that's pretty easy.
Do you see what I'm saying? We got it on camera!
It's not hard, but like if you're using it with gloves, there are issues that can arise from not having tactile buttons. Does it have buttons? Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So you've got both options, and that's better, for sure.
I found myself, I'm very conservative with my battery power, so I like to turn off cameras whenever I can. So I was doing that with the Zcam, and I would have to, like, something was about to happen, so I would have to hurry up and try to turn it on. I missed so many shots doing that. With the Red, it's kind of, my mindset's more just like, it takes a while to turn off and on, and so I'm just gonna keep it on. And so that whole argument of the whole boot up time, it's 30 seconds, and so I'm being a lot more mindful with it than I was with the Zcam. That's my point.
So, yeah, essentially with that, you have to switch your mindset. It's got to be on. You've got to be able to have the power ready for it. We're gonna time how long it takes to power on with the monitor as well.
Okay.
And then take a shot, and then that's it.
Grant, we have different monitors. I'm testing out this World 7-inch on here. I have a couple other coming in, and so I guess it's not
Are you
really.
ready?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, here's good to go. But his monitor's not live yet.
And
there it is.
I'm recording. And then I'll just keep recording until you can.
But again, this was my whole point. I don't really shut my camera off on gigs. And we ran a...
Oh, you're on.
Oh, I'm on. It wasn't too bad, right? We ran, that was like a 14-hour day? 13-hour day. And this battery lasts me to the very last shot.
Yeah.
And that's with me not being super conservative with the battery. So it doesn't really eat that much battery power up. I think this is even better on battery. Obviously, the Zcam doesn't have this amazing touchscreen on it.
Yeah.
So
it's not using as much.
Yeah, but again, with that said, this whole thing of the Red takes forever to boot up, blah, blah, blah. If you're mindful of it, it's not gonna be an issue.
It's not that crazy of a deal.
This is like a hybrid of the Zcam and the Blackmagic all in one. And the autofocus is actually pretty great.
Yeah,
That's what we're
we
learning.
were, oh my gosh, we
Yeah.
were shocked. We were shooting horses running at the camera, maintained focus.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
crazy.
insane.
This thing, oh yeah, that's another good thing.
Ah.
This thing really doesn't have decent autofocus at all.
Yeah,
Like,
I know through the app, like you could do face detection or something like that. I did it before, but it's all contrast based, so it doesn't really stick.
It has workarounds. It doesn't really have autofocus.
And this has phase detection, and so far it seems like the software is the only limiting thing on this. Because you even stepped in front of the camera with their black sweater and you even locked onto that.
Yeah.
Which I was like, what? Like
Yeah,
I wasn't
that's
expecting
crazy.
that.
It's nothing like the R5, but it seems to be good enough for the camera, which is like, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. Zcam people, I hope you guys are working on another camera with a better body. Again, the body, like the overall like idea of it is amazing, but just the form function needs help.
Yeah.
And you guys need more camera support. Like if you guys gave us a monitor that linked directly with the camera,
Oh, that'd be sick.
you guys would be winning. And if you guys get Z-Raw and DaVinci, if you guys, I don't know what Corel you guys have there, but if you guys figure that out, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we don't know any of the back end. We have no idea what's going on, but like that's what we would ask for.
I don't know, anyone that asks me, should I get the Zcam or Red? If you have to ask, get the Zcam.
I mean, I feel like I'm always going to be working on my color grading. It's always going to be getting better, but there's more room to grow with the Red in every way. The RF mount, there's better lenses. The Red RAW, there's more maneuverability you have with the footage. Support, body, all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's way more money. There's a reason Red is so famous. But for now, I'm super happy with the Zcam and what it's giving me as far as like how it looks.
I think this is a great, like, for majority people, I think this is perfect.
Just having a little box that shoots really high quality footage for like $2,000, you can't find anything else.
This is still my favorite camera.
Because people are gonna say in the comments, Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. I agree, it looks amazing, but that thing is it's an open piece of plastic.
It's annoying to use.
If this was a Blackmagic, how many times would have been destroyed?
Already.
It would have been destroyed in Joshua Tree. It would have been destroyed in Montana. It would have been destroyed, maybe not in slow, but 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
It gets the job done.
Like, yes, I would switch to a Komodo if price was not an issue.
Yeah.
But what Zcam has done with this camera is not to be understated. It is amazing.
Man, Cam set this camera for a month. Things are getting really serious.
Oh, you saw that. Just to wrap everything up, these are both the entry-level, like, budget options for these segments. This is the entry-level budget version of a RED DSM-C2 camera body. That's like their Monstro and all those. This is, I would say, like the best, literally the best cinema camera you could get for the price. If you're just getting into it, I think that's what this is great for. Even if you're a working professional and you don't want to mess with RAW, this is the best option. Like, if you need the RED, you're gonna know, like, that's what I need. I need that extra bit of quality out of there. Otherwise, just get the Z. It's amazing. It works. It gets the job done. It looks awesome. And it will teach you how to get the most out of when you want to upgrade to a more expensive camera. BAM!
Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel. Don't subscribe to Cam. And that's it. See you never.
Say.